We're back live at Candlestick Park here in San Francisco, where the hometown 49ers have their hands full with a very scrappy New Orleans Saints team looking for that first win after 13 consecutive losses. Hello again, everybody. Jim Kelly, Jim Hill alongside. We're at halftime. It is 35-7 in favor of the New Orleans Saints, on the verge perhaps, unless a very dramatic comeback by the 49ers, of their first win of the season. Let's go to our videotape highlights now and take a look at just how it got to be 35-7. Take a look. Archie Manning went on top very early in the football game. Ike Harris, number 82, watched the good concentration. Manning puts it right on the money. The up-and-go pattern turned around the cornerback, and Harris, the conversion by Benny Ricardo, that made it 7-0. The tight end, Henry Childs, we talked about him at the beginning of the telecast. In the right corner of the end zone, the same type of pattern, Jim Hill, and face masking against the defender, but Childs comes up with a big reception.
The outstanding thing about Childs' reception there is that he fell down and got back up and still made the catch.
Now this one on the ground after a big play from Manning to Ike Harris. Jack Holmes behind a Tony Galbraith block, punches it on over. It's 21-0 with Ricardo's conversion. New Orleans at that point.
And here comes the 49ers' only touchdown. Freddie Solomon, a 57-yard punt return. He bumped into one of his own men, then broke it back down to the right, going down the far sideline. Russell Erxleben comes over the punter, tries to make a tackle on him. He pulls the muscle, falls down, and Solomon goes on in for the score.
And then Jack Holmes, number 45 again. He came into the football game having scored nary a touchdown. He's scored 2 so far in the first half. Holmes right there. And then you take a look at Ike Harris, number 82 again, as the Saints had up their lead to 28-7. Great play by Archie Manning, rolling out to the right side, and watch Ike Harris.
Did an outstanding job of throwing the ball here by Archie. Harris coming across from left to right, total concentration on the ball, catches it right behind Cornelius, who really overran the ball, and goes on in for his second touchdown of the afternoon.
And that's how it got to be 35-7, and that's where we are right now. You heard the boos in the background. That means that the 49ers are back out onto the field. We'll be ready for the second half kickoff. The Saints lead it by a score of 35-7 when we come right back.
Introducing an American car built for a changing world and designed with a commitment to quality. The beautifully new Ford Granada, contemporary in styling, energy efficient, smaller in size.
But not at the expense of room.
With Granada's highest mileage ratings ever, and with attention to detail. The kind of detail
you can see, feel, and hear.
The new Granada, built in America for a changing world from Ford.
Take it easy. You know, I was known for working long and hard during training camp. Why, even after my teammates were asleep, I'd still be out practicing my moves, and that's still important. So I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's got 1/3 less calories than a regular beer, and the best thing is it's less filling. Because listen, I still train the same way as the old days. Practice, practice, practice.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
When you're hot, you're hot. The New Orleans Saints, you look at that, almost unbelievable. 20 first downs to just 2 for the San Francisco 49ers. Jimbo?
Total offensive yardage for the Saints, 324 to only 21 for San Francisco. You talk about hot, you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. Look at that. Look at the time of possession. 20 minutes and 28 seconds for the Saints, 9 minutes and 32 seconds for the 49ers. Outstanding job of the offensive line by the Saints. That's the reason for that.
Here's the kickoff by Benny Ricardo. That's Jimmy Owens, number 89, with the grab and then the muff, and he's in trouble and breaks the plane and gets it up to the 12-yard line, and not much more. And you know, you take a look at those stats, Jim Hill. I've got another stat for you, and if you're a 49er fan, it's not very encouraging because San Francisco has been outscored in the third quarter 85-41 by their opponents, and they're already down by a bunch, 28 to be exact. So kind of an ominous note for the San Francisco 49ers and that man, head coach Bill Walsh. As you look at Steve DeBerg to his left, DeBerg, the 4-year man from San Jose State, 6'2", 205, was the starting quarterback, lost it to this man, Joe Montana. First down, 10 yards to go, San Francisco at the 49er 11-yard line. He goes up top. He's got Clark. Dwight Clark, the second-year man from Clemson. And that's the biggest 49er gain of the football game, with the exception of that 57-yard punt return by Freddie Solomon. Jimmy Marshall, the first-year man from Jackson State, number 23, beaten on the play. And Well, just like Solomon, they took the jet, not the local.
Well, and Clark is a pretty good receiver, too, and that's exactly what San Francisco is going to have to do the second half. They're going to have to put the ball up in the air. They're going to have to throw medium to deep passes. You're seeing Clark getting behind the secondary for the New Orleans Saints. They're going to have to get away from their back-oriented passes.
Montana and company, 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 40-yard line. He's got Linville Elliott looping out of the backfield, actually the safety valve receiver. Good job that time done by Joe Montana, because his primary receiver, Freddie Solomon, was all tied up down here at the 30-yard line by 44 David Waymer. He looked off Solomon. He looked over the middle for his tight end, Charlie Young. He was covered, and he finally found Linville Elliott, the safety valve man.
And I think that's a good sign of a young quarterback who is gaining more and more maturity, because you are going from your primary to your secondary and then going over to your safety valve receiver.
There are the stats on Joe Montana, who was 8 out of 12 in the first half. Came out smoking as they had to in the second half. Linville Elliott in motion. The pitch back to Earl Cooper, the rookie running back. He's got some real estate down inside the New Orleans Saints 28-yard line. Earl Cooper came into this football game averaging about 4.5 yards every time he touched the football on the ground. In the first half, he rushed for 8 yards on 4 carries. His longest gain from scrimmage was 6 yards.
And one of the things that people like about him, at least the 49er coaching staff, is not only is he a good runner, he's a good, tough runner, and there is a big difference.
Cooper picked up the first down for the 49ers. It's 1st and 10 to go at the New Orleans Saints 28-yard line. Linville Elliott has a convoy on the right side. And he's got another San Francisco first down. Linville Elliott in the first half rushed for 14 yards. His longest gain from scrimmage was 4 yards. He picked up 14, so he's just doubled his rushing yardage with that carry. Groom, 78 in there on the tackle. Another first down for the 49ers. 3 successive first downs for Joe Montana. They've got to get on the scoreboard quickly, and they know it. Slot to the left side with Solomon moving into the slot. Charles Young, the tight end, split out a few yards on the right side. Montana with a straight drop. The Saints are coming. Montana did well just to get rid of the ball. Intended in the general vicinity of Linville Elliott, but actually I think he threw it away.
And so far, I think that Bill Walsh's halftime talk to his 49er ball club was very blunt and straight to the point. Let's get to work. I'm sure he added a few other descriptive adjectives to it, but that's exactly what's happened, and now they're coming out, and they have moved the ball the length of the field.
You see Bill Walsh to the left of Steve DeBerg. Walsh calls the play, makes the play selection, and then DeBerg, as we stay on it, with the wig-wag system, sends the play into Joe Montana, this man. 2nd down and 10 at the 14-yard line of the Saints, who lead by 28 points. The Saints are coming underneath. Down to about the 7-yard line. Good grab by Freddie Solomon. Lined up in a slot to the right side. The rookie from Notre Dame, David Waymer, number 44, in there in the tackle, the right side cornerback.
Jim, in this series by the 49ers, we're seeing why San Francisco is a pass-oriented team. Backed up deep in their own territory, Montana completes a long pass out to Clark. Now they moved on down the field by the pass, and this is exactly what they're going to have to do the rest of the ball game in order to catch New Orleans.
Okay, they've gone to the 2 tight end alignment right now on 3rd down and 3. The San Francisco 49ers showing run. Cooper wants to pass. Now he wants to run. He's got the first down inside the 4-yard line. Fumble, but not before Cooper was down. It'll be San Francisco's ball, 1st and goal when they unpile. Donnie Schwartz, number 48, the 3rd-year man from Washington State, the man who stuck it to Earl Cooper, but not before Cooper had put his head down and barreled for another San Francisco first down.
And that was a pretty good run fake by Cooper, run-pass fake, I should say. Whenever you see a running back get the ball and he bends back deep in the backfield, you automatically think it's going to be a run pass. But that time, the Saints on defense didn't go for it. They kept covering their receivers in the secondary. And as you see right now, the ball is inside the 5-yard line.
Rafael Septien, a 32-yard field goal over in Oakland. The Cowboys have upped their lead to 9 points now. It's 19-10. Dallas on top over the Raiders. Montana to Earl Cooper. Close to the goal line, but they stack him up over on the right side, about a half a yard shy. And
it looks like Cooper's a little slow in getting up. So far, the 49er offensive line is doing exactly what the Saint offensive line did in the first half. They're getting off on the ball. They're getting underneath the defensive people for New Orleans, and they're able to move them around.
That's Earl Cooper, number 49, the injured 49er, laying down at about the goal line right there. You take another look, and you'll see the way Ken Bordelin, number 50 of LSU, stuck it to Cooper, stacked him up just shy of the goal line. There's the hit right there, and down he goes and hurts that left knee. So it'll be second down, goal to go. The 49ers driving when we come right back.
I looked at Datsun 280ZX and Porsche 924 because I wanted a refined sports car. Then I looked at and drove this new Mazda RX-7, and that's all it took.
Just one look, that's all it took. Yeah, just one look, that's all it took.
The Mazda RX-7 keeps getting better. Even the mileage is 24% better than last year. And the more I looked, the more I liked the looks of its price.
The more you look, the more you like.
Introducing the revolutionary twin action shaving system engineered to outperform twin blades. The new Norelco Rotattract Razor. Inside 3 floating heads, Rotattract works like twin blades to grip hair, raise it up, then razor it off hundreds of times a second for a shave that's twin blade close without a nick or cut. The new twin action Norelco Rotattract Razor, cord and rechargeable. Twin blade closeness, but no gotcha.
Wednesday, when Blue Flu strikes the department, Enos becomes a one-man police force.
Promise me it ain't something crazy. Keep up to that.
Enos, Wednesday night.
Checking other action around the NFL, that big ball game in Oakland. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys lead the Oakland Raiders 19-10. Rafael Septien has just kicked a 34-yard field goal. Meanwhile, Kansas City leads Denver 28-7.
Don Woods, number 47, has replaced the injured Earl Cooper, ex-San Diego Charger, picked up in midseason. The 49ers in close, and they got it. Joe Montana kept it himself, and it's now a 35-13 ball game, and coming out to try to make it 35-14 will be Ray Wersching, who's had a busy afternoon, but only kicking off. So Joe Montana goes in. Montana had thrown for 7 touchdowns coming into this football game. And you see the big hole clogged rather quickly after Montana knifed his way through. Snap is good, spot is better, and the kick is perfect. 35-14, 49ers take the opening kickoff in the second half, and they march right down very quickly against the New Orleans Saints, so it's a 21-point New Orleans advantage. Saints get the ball back when we come right back.
Welcome to Club Atari. What's your pleasure? Breakout? Ah, here's something new. Circus Atari.
Cartridges, video chess, football. Cartridge, sir? Fez is here.
We meet again, Fez.
Yes, a little game of Space Invaders, perhaps. What shall we play for?
For fun, of course.
No other company offers you as many different video game cartridges as Atari.
This man leads the good life. He puts on his bow tie, he puts on his tuxedo, and then he puts on his Accord LX, our most luxurious Honda, with features like variable assist power steering, digital clock, and air conditioning as standard, with plush seats and deep pile carpeting. So, for people who lead the good life, the car that leads the simple life.
Honda, we make it simple.
That 1-yard touchdown plunge by Joe Montana, his second touchdown on the ground so far this year. We mentioned that he has already thrown for 7. And Joe, not really seeing that much action, Jim Hill, until the New York Giant game 2 games ago. He started last week against the New England Patriots, and a big upset for the 49ers in that game, and got the call against the New York Giants, a 12-0 shutout in favor of the 49ers, and apparently has won the starting quarterback job from Steve DeBerg. Jimmy Rogers, back deep at his own 7-yard line, looks for the wedge, hits it at the 25, and the 49ers hit him, and down he goes at the 27.
I think we'll get a chance now, Jim, to see if the Saints really deserve to win this ball game this afternoon. The thing that they must do now is they must continue to do what they did in the first half, and that is get an outstanding job of blocking from their offensive line and continue to attack the secondary for San Francisco.
Well, the veteran, Jim Peterzak, who limped off early in the first half and had his muscle taped up, has returned the 6-year veteran from Eastern Michigan out over the ball at center. They'll keep it on the ground. The pitch back here. That's Tony Galbraith. Bobby Leopold, the rookie from Notre Dame, the man who got to him first off. Tony Galbraith having a big afternoon both in receiving and in rushing the football. As Manning is calling all of his own plays, Galbraith now 11 carries, 68 yards on the ground, and he has caught 3 passes for a total of 24 yards.
He's always been a good running back. He's always been a good back to have come out of the backfield and catch the pass. He's just been caught up in one of those things that when things go wrong for you, they go wrong all the way around. He's a 5-year veteran from Missouri, 6'1", 230, in the backfield now with Jack Holmes. And this is Jack Holmes who tries to muscle his way up near the 35-yard line. It was 2nd down and 5. Picked up about 2 yards, so it'll bring up 3rd down. Let's call it a long 3. Jim Stuckey, 79 from Clemson. Archie Reese, 78, also from Clemson, in there on the stop. And the 3rd man, San Francisco plays the 3-4 most of the time on the front 3. Lawrence Pillars, 65 from Alcorn State. There is a nervous Bill Walsh, would like to get the ball back. And we're getting a good chance of seeing just how good a coach he is. It's easy to coach when you're in front. Good sign when you can come from behind. On 3rd and 3 in short yardage. Galbraith will not get it. He'll be stacked up shy of 1st down yardage, and the Saints will have to relinquish the football. Stuckey in there again, as you look at a concerned Dick Stanfill shaking his head. Might be wondering about the play call on that. It appears, Jim, that New Orleans has gone pretty much into a shell, which is the worst thing that you can do when you get into a situation like this and you 0-13, because once you go into a shell and you get conservative, you don't do anything but let that other club just come on back, which is what the 49ers are going to try and do now. Russell Erxleben averaging 44 yards per kick over the last 4 games, right around his average so far this afternoon, as you see there. Freddie Solomon, number 88, who has already rambled some 57 yards for the first 49er touchdown. He'll be looking up into the lights and in the sun as you look now at Russell Erxleben. Out of the snap of Jim Peterzak. Freddie Solomon will field it. And then he decides to let it go. You heard some oohs and ahs and some groans from some nervous 49er fans who thought the ball might have hit one of the 49ers down there, but not so, says referee Dick Jorgensen. So we've got now 8:55 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Saints are on top against the 49ers, 35-14.
This Christmas card was sent to you by the people at Miller High Life. Merry Christmas.
Next week, a Super Sports Saturday, the Giants battle the Redskins, followed by the Mixed Team Golf Classic and the Sports Spectacular with figure skating and the Great American Truck Race next Saturday on CBS Sports.
That is a very concerned San Francisco 49er brain trust on the sideline right there. That is Bill Walsh, the head coach, who has a 5-8 record coming in. Those 5 victories in 1980, by the way, represent more victories than 1978 and 79 combined for San Francisco. Montana goes up top quickly to Freddie Solomon, out of bounds at the 25-yard line, turned around by David Waymer. And the Niners, as you might expect, Jim Hill, have to go to the air because they're down by 21 points, 35-14.
And they have New Orleans playing it rather soft up front. The secondary for the Saints they really don't want to give up the deep pass because of what happened on the last possession by San Francisco, and that's why the short stuff is open now.
Of course, by comparison right now, if you do have the Saints back on their heels a little bit defensively, a little bit cautious, a little concerned, you want to take what the defense is going to give you. That's a short passing. And that's what Montana's doing. That's a first down up at about the 34-yard line. Montana had to get the quick release, and he got it to number 47, looping out of the backfield, Donnie Woods, the man who's come in to replace Linville Elliott or Earl Cooper. Joe Fetterspiel in there in the tackle, the 9-year veteran from Kentucky for the New Orleans Saints, but Montana picks up the first down. The line of scrimmage now the 34 of San Francisco. Cooper is out. We'll try to update his injury for you. He left with an injured left knee, it appeared, down near the goal line. He's been replaced by Donnie Woods, 47, as Montana looks to get out of trouble. You know, on that play, Jimmy, I don't think Don Woods knew whether the ball was thrown to him or to the tight end Charlie Young. Woods might have had a chance to grab that ball if he jumped up. He let it go, and it looked like it was just underthrown, intended for number 86 Charlie Young, the tight end.
That's one of the problems you have, Jim, when you have two offensive receivers in the same area, because they don't know if you're throwing to them or to the other person. But as far as the Saints are concerned right now, with it being second down, we're going to have to start seeing some blitzing out of them, because the offensive line for San Francisco is starting to do a good job.
2nd and 10 from the 34 of San Francisco. That's Dwight Clark with a lot of real estate. That's Freddie Solomon with a block, and that's a San Francisco touchdown. 66 yards. Joe Montana to number 87, Dwight Clark, his 7th touchdown grab of the season. And the 49ers, Jim Hill, are right back in this football game.
Well, New Orleans came with the blitz, but what happened was that San Francisco, their offensive line, caught the Saints in a blitz. They were expecting it just like we were. You see the blitz coming from the top of your screen, the linebacker coming in, Clark coming from the top, from right to left, does a great job of getting away from defensive people. Actually, he should have been tackled. That was a bad job of tackling by the Saints, and as a result,
that was Waymer that missed the tackle. Now this is number 89, James Owens, who helps throw the block after Solomon threw another one to allow Clark to turn the corner. And Ray Wershing will try to put the 21st 49er point up on the board now, out of the hold of Joe Montana. It's perfect. 7:52 left to go in the third quarter right now. And the Saints, who led it 35-7 at halftime, have seen the 49ers put 14 unanswered points on the board. New Orleans gets the kickoff when we come right back. We've got 7:50.